In a well-circulated video, Jordan Peterson makes a very interesting claim. Jordan Peterson asserts that those who claim Stalin's rule wasn't real Marxism believe that they would have done the right thing had they been in his position. This notion is pure idiocy. Jordan Peterson's first mistake is implying that Marxism is a political system. Marxism is a form of analysis, not a political system. Marxism is associated with socialism and communism, which are political systems. But these things are distinct from Marxism. When Jordan Peterson says Marxism, he almost certainly means socialism or communism, probably socialism. The use of these terms interchangeably is anything but intellectual. Any semblance of nuance is nowhere to be seen. Because when your only goal is demonizing an ideology that you don't even understand, who needs nuance? Jordan Peterson wastes no time revealing his ignorance. This may be a small inaccuracy, an inaccuracy that could normally be dismissed with ease. But when you are trying to portray yourself as an expert intellectual giving an academic lecture, it is a notable and revealing failing. The main issue, however, is not the misuse of terminology. The main issue is the utter lie at the heart of Jordan Peterson's assertion. Leftists who claim that Stalin's rule was not socialist are not claiming that they would have done the right thing in Stalin's position. They are claiming that Stalin's position should not have existed. They don't claim that Stalin's rule wasn't socialism because Stalin wasn't a benevolent dictator. They claim that Stalin's rule wasn't socialism because Stalin was a dictator. The leftist opponents of Stalin don't want a nice dictator instead of a mean one. They want no dictator at all. Literally no leftist who opposes Stalin argues that the problem was that he was a mean man. They oppose him because he was a dictator. And being a dictator is antithetical to socialism. Socialism is all about ending the oppressor versus oppressed dynamic. The end of this dynamic is incompatible with the existence of a dictator. The issue with Stalin was not that he wasn't nice enough. The issue with Stalin was that his political position was utterly antithetical to the classlessness and democracy that are essential to socialism. If Stalin was a nicer dictator, his regime would have been no more socialist. Leftist criticism of Stalin is not this individualistic. Leftist criticism is systemic and structural. Jordan Peterson is projecting his own ideological individualism onto leftism, an ideological group that is largely categorized by the emphasis it places on systemic and structural analysis. Leftists regard capitalism as the primary issue, not a few mean capitalists. The same thing is true of the Stalin example. Leftists regard dictatorship as the primary issue, not mean dictators. Leftists are interested in structural and systemic analysis, first and foremost. Project mindless individualism onto them, and you will never understand them. Under real socialism, nobody would be in Stalin's position. The problem was not that Stalin's position was filled by a mean man. The problem was that Stalin's position existed. That is why Stalin's rule wasn't socialist. Not because he was a mean dictator, but because he was a dictator. When we say that wasn't real socialism, we don't mean we would have been good had we been in Stalin's position. We mean Stalin's position wouldn't exist because socialism requires democracy. Marxism and socialism are literally all about ending the oppressor versus oppressed dynamic. That dynamic cannot die so long as dictators exist. Jordan Peterson is either incredibly stupid or extremely dishonest. This propagandistic contortion and perversion of a strong criticism of a system into an idiotic individualism is intellectually reprehensible. Jordan Peterson is the aesthetic of intellectualism with not one drop of the substance.